For 30 long years, Hank Tolliver was more than just a mechanic, he was the soul of Brenton. Every morning, rain or shine, he rolled up the bay doors of Brenton Auto with a thermos of black coffee and a warm nod to anyone who passed. Locals would joke that if Hank ever skipped a day, the sun wouldn't rise. He'd tune tractors in harvest season, rebuilt ambulances during a town crisis, and even resurrected a 1947 Harley for the sheriff's retirement ride. Brenton Auto wasn't just a garage, it was the garage, but time doesn't wait, not even for legends. On a drizzly Monday morning, Hank arrived to find his name scrubbed off the sign and a shiny new logo that read, Glick Autotech. Inside, standing at Hank's own workbench, was Darren Glick, slick hair, pressed shirt, and the kind of smirk that never trusted hard work. "Hank, just who I was hoping to see," Darren said, clapping him on the back like they were old friends. "Big changes, my man. We're going digital, electric, the works. You know, streamlining for the future." Hank blinked, confused. "Where's Pete? Where's the crew?" "Let go," Darren replied casually. "Nothing personal, just business. We need techs who speak code, not carburetors." "No offense, Hank, but your methods are outdated." Hank stood silently. After 3 decades of loyalty, he was being discarded like a busted wrench. No meeting, no heads up, no handshake goodbye. Just the hollow thud of his toolbox as he packed it with trembling hands. That afternoon, the whole town buzzed. Everyone had a Hank story. How he fixed their first car, how he showed their kid how to change a tire, how he once drove through a blizzard to deliver a generator to the local nursing home. But Hank said nothing. He went home to his barn on the outskirts of town, locked the doors, and vanished from public view. Weeks passed. The barn lights flickered late into the night. Strange noises echoed across the nearby fields, grinding, hammering, bursts of electricity. Hank's truck rarely left the driveway, and even his dog, Rusty, seemed to bark with more urgency. Rumors spread like wildfire. He's building something. He's leaving town. Maybe he's losing it. But Hank was anything but lost. Inside the barn, surrounded by shelves of salvaged parts and ancient blueprints, Hank Tolliver was coming alive in a way he hadn't in years. No bosses, no schedules, just pure, unfiltered creativity. The engine he was crafting didn't hum, it sang. It wasn't about proving Darren Glick wrong. It was about proving he still had more to give. And then came Founders Day. The whole town gathered as usual. Food trucks, marching bands, funnel cakes, and speeches from city officials. Darren had even set up a Glick Autotech booth, displaying shiny screens and tablets that explained tire rotations through animated diagrams. Kids yawned. Then a thunderous hiss filled the air. Every head turned. From behind the crowd, a massive machine rolled slowly into the square. People gasped. Hank stood tall at the helm of a metallic beast unlike anything they'd ever seen, half classic roadster, half sci-fi dream. Burnished steel panels reflected the sun. A glowing core lit the front grille. The engine's low, electric purr reverberated through the cobblestones. It looked like it had been built in another century, or another world. As it came to a stop near the courthouse, Hank climbed out, wiped his hands on a rag, and turned to face the crowd. "I built this with parts people told me were junk," he said, voice calm but powerful. "They said I was finished. Too old, too slow, but I'm still here, and I've still got a few sparks left." The crowd erupted in cheers. Even some of the kids clapped with wide-eyed wonder. For the first time in weeks, Hank smiled. He didn't need Brenton Auto anymore. He had built something better. The moment Hank Tolliver unveiled the Iron Ghost, the small town of Brenton would never be the same. News spread like wildfire. That night, videos of Hank's creation were all over social media, grainy footage of a chrome-bodied beast cruising down Main Street with electric blue thrusters and a mechanic-turned-legend at the helm. One video, posted by a high school sophomore, racked up over 12 million views in 24 hours with the caption, "Old man just built a time machine in his barn." But Hank wasn't chasing internet clout. He didn't even have a smartphone. Still, the calls came: auto magazines, engineering firms, cable TV producers. One car company offered him 6 figures just to examine the engine. A tech billionaire offered to buy the entire vehicle. Hank politely declined every single one. He didn't build the Iron Ghost to sell it. He built it because someone told him he couldn't. Then came the letters. Not emails, not texts. Real, handwritten letters. Dozens. Then hundreds. From all over the country. A 12-year-old girl in Nebraska who wanted to learn how to weld. A retired Marine in Arizona looking to start over. A father and son trying to restore an old Pontiac but getting stuck on the suspension. These weren't just fans, they were people who'd been told, like Hank, that they were done. Too old, too young, too poor, too late. Hank read every letter. Each one hit him like a spark to dry fuel. He realized he hadn't just built a machine, he'd started a movement. And so, with the same stubborn spirit he used to build the Iron Ghost, Hank took his next leap. He launched a community garage and skills training center he called the Iron Yard. He bought the abandoned grain mill on the outskirts of town, 3 acres of rusted metal, broken windows, and potential. With help from a few old friends, some local welders, and a GoFundMe page that exploded in donations, they turned that forgotten space into a marvel of ingenuity. Open bays, tool benches, solar panels on the roof, custom lifts and diagnostic computers donated by companies that had once turned him away. The Iron Yard wasn't a school. It wasn't a business. It was a mission. Young people came in droves, teens from nearby towns, kids who had no interest in college but a burning desire to build something real. Hank taught them how to strip an engine, how to hold a torch steady, how to diagnose a misfire by sound alone. And more importantly, he taught them confidence. He let them fail, then handed them a wrench and told them to try again. Veterans joined in too, men and women with hands trained for combat, now learning to rebuild transmissions and fabricate motorcycle frames. They found healing in the grind of steel and the hum of machines. Many said Hank's shop did more for them than years of therapy ever had. Reporters came, TV crews. The governor of the state dropped by one afternoon for a photo op and left covered in grease and smiling like a kid. Someone even nominated Hank for a National Humanitarian Award. But none of it changed him. He still wore the same coveralls. Still drank the same gas station coffee. Still called everyone, kid, even if they had gray in their hair. And every night, when the lights dimmed in the Iron Yard, the Iron Ghost sat by the front gate like a silent guardian, still glowing, still daring people to imagine more. Hank once said in a local interview, "When they pushed me out, they did me a favor. They gave me time, and when you give a mechanic time, he builds something that lasts." Today, Brenton isn't just known for its cornfields or its county fair. It's known for being the place where a forgotten man built a dream, and gave the rest of the world permission to dream too.